All right. Well, again, good evening. As many of you know, my name is Devontae Caldwell. I'm with the Houston Planning and Development Department, and I am the lead planner for the Cashmere Garden. No, not Cashmere Gardens. Oh my gosh. I work with the Cashmere Gardens Complete Communities as well, but I am also the lead planner for the near Northside Complete Communities. And I have my other colleagues with me on the line if they would like to introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abraham Zorrilla with the City of Houston Planning and Development Department.
Thank you, Abraham.
Good evening, everyone. Eric Glenn, also assisting Devontae with the Near Northside Complete Community.
Thank you, Eric. And we have Lynn Henson on the line, and she is our division manager. Lynn, would you like to say anything?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. And thank you to Veronica Hernandez, who is representing Councilmember Carlos Cisneros. Thank you for being with us. And also thank you to Valerie Luna with Houston Public Works, Cynthia Sidney with the Houston Health Department. Thank you both for being here. And so, the purpose of tonight is that we are following up from what happened last month. That happened on March 23rd. There was a progress report provided by the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities by Division Manager Krista Stoneham. And within that report, it was covering items that have been moved forward and other items that may have been stalled or not moved forward. And the goal of today's meeting is to determine a project that we could work on this year. So I will go in detail on what those projects are, but thank you to those that have already completed our survey on letstalkhouston.org to select a project out of the action plan for near Northside Complete Communities. So before we dive into the agenda, I would like to go over just some instructions for how to use Microsoft Teams. Just as a reminder, the chat button will appear at the bottom of your screen, and it's that window bubble button, the bubble icon right there. If you would like to write a comment or chat, and then if you have not done that already, please write your name, organization, or whether you're indicated whether you are a near Northside resident. And also, we will appreciate any feedback on a team name that we can refer to ourselves moving forward. And then also, if you're not speaking, please remember to stay on mute by pressing the mute slider, like pressing the mute slide bar on your end. If not, if you're calling in by phone, please mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6. And to limit any interference with the audio or any echoes, please only use one device. And then there's also a raise hand feature with Microsoft Teams. That could be another indicator that you would like to speak, and there will be a small hand icon at the bottom of your screen, and then you can click on it again once you have finished speaking to lower your hand. And then by the end of this meeting, please remember to hang up on all of your devices. So now, going over the agenda, I would like to just to cover a few items before we get to our main point of the discussion, which is selecting a project that we can work on as a group. But first, I would like to get ideas from you all on what could be a team name that we can call ourselves. Right now, I have it, as the Near Northside Complete Communities team, but if there is a specific name that you would like for this group to be called, please feel free to write your ideas in the chat. And then if we get a lot of suggestions, we could have a survey for people to select the best one out of those options. And that survey can be open for like a month until the next time that we meet. And then we can, whatever name gets the most votes, that will be our team name. So if you can go ahead and write your ideas in the chat, or if you have called in, you can also feel free to unmute yourself to provide your idea. And then if you're speaking, feel free to also introduce yourself that way as well. If you before you speak, feel free to state your name as well. Thank you, Mary, for joining us. Yes, I understand that, yes, you're curious about what developments are slated for near Northside in the near future. Yes, there are some resources that you can look into as far as looking up reports. There's one like the plat reports that you can look at, some development activities that you can get some that may fall in your area, kind of categorized by zip codes, but I can send a follow-up email with some of those resource links that you can sign up to receive bi-weekly or weekly reports on building permits or plats that may fall in your area. But feel free, I can move on to our next section, but throughout this meeting, feel free to write in your ideas because the purpose of these meetings moving forward is that we will use this meeting as a communications base where we can talk about a project that we can work on as a team and then getting some projects moving forward, as we from the city are here to help you as the community to move projects forward as stated in your action plan, and we are here to help achieve your goals. But I will also further elaborate that on to our next item, which is about to talk about the implementation structure. So feel free throughout this meeting to write in your ideas, and then I will collect those after the meeting and then share with other people. But I would like to move on to our next item. Reminder, again, if you would like to participate in the question. But just to kind of briefly, this using actually some of the visuals that you may have seen in the presentation from last month, but just to understand the Complete Communities organization, there is the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities that's been established to promote and facilitate these collaborations and partnerships across multiple sectors of the city to help implement all of the 10 Complete Communities action plans. And then it seeks to gather, to assist these implementation efforts, it seeks out for both internal and external resources to contribute. And then also, we are helping also with the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities to track progress of these action plans projects through a management system called RIKE. And then each department that it coordinates with has specific roles, like parks with Parks and Recreation, Department of Neighborhoods with dangerous buildings and blights, housing and community development with housing and so forth. But that's also one of the areas of responsibilities that they look for. But with our department, and also I would like to also reference the Mayor's Assistant's Office, each one has their liaisons, and for near Northside, that's me as the lead planner, along with Eric Glenn and Abraham Zaria, who will be assisting us. And then you have Jack Valinsky from the liaison that is helping with the coordination efforts, coordinating any service requests with the city. And then we are here to help coordinate with you all to move projects forward and to help fill in any gaps or any resource gaps in the process to contribute to these projects. So again, yeah, we are here to really help you all to move these projects forward. And specifically, I'm referring to the projects that the community can lead or initiate. And each in the action plan, as you will see on the tables, is that it lists the ideal roles that the community can play in relation to whether it's a city or an outside agency. and I have extracted those projects that we can work on together in that survey that I would show you in a bit. But for the purpose of these meetings is that it'll be strictly focusing on implementation and moving projects forward. And also, we would like to increase participation with the community at these meetings and making sure that this meeting is well representative of the entire community. And then we'll have Abraham Zaria to lead on a brief discussion that we would like to have with you all in this meeting. And then also, if there are any status updates from the cities or the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities, I will use this meeting to inform you all of those updates. Kind of similar to last month's progress report, but moving forward, there might be more incremental updates leading up to maybe another formal progress report update from the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities in the near future. But also, this meeting is also a great opportunity for us to learn from you all about what you have been doing in your communities, because one of the things that we as a city do not want to do is that we do not want to override or duplicate any of the efforts that Near Northside has done. And we know that Near Northside is done a tremendous amount of work over the years, and we want to help add on to that and help build on it, and to really help move any projects forward and to add any resources that may be needed. And sometimes the work could be, for this particular group, it could be done by breaking down working groups based on a project, whether it's dealing with like an art project, or it's a project that may deal with cleanups or increasing civic engagement. It could deal with safety. We could split this team down into these individual working groups that will work on a prioritized project. And these working groups will serve as the focus group to communicate any resources or needs to move that project forward. And then to also be encouraged to disseminate the information to the Near Northside as a whole, and using maybe like existing meetings like the Super Neighborhood as an avenue to share those resources and updates, and to also help to increase participation through this initiative. So by joining a working group, if this is what we would like to move forward with in selecting a project, is that project can be a working group in itself, or we can select one project that we as the entire team we can work on together. But by joining a working group or a team, you will be agreeing to communicate openly and frequently, respecting others' opinions during a conversation, be inclusive, encourage the participation of a variety of voices, and importantly, working towards a consensus whenever possible, and then be willing to compromise under certain circumstances. And consistently reporting and documenting our successes, our challenges, our goals, and then if there is a conflict, that we will resolve it in a professional and civil manner, and to also lead by example. As at the end of the day, we are all leaders, and we are here to bring improvements and make great changes to these areas. And then also to evaluate the success of these programs and measure the success of these projects and how effective these projects or programs have been to the communities. And then last but not least, with all that said, celebrating the success. So
Javon,
yes.
may I? Those are great goals, and to get the input from the community is really important. And I want to just ask if we can just take a pause here for a second to see if there are any questions about what you've said so far.
Yes. Any questions? So for example, I was planning to like break it up, into the open discussion in a way, like with some questions about, how complete communities can support your efforts already. How can we complement your existing system, as we know that there are various working groups in the area. We know we know what the system is like right now in your Northside and how active this community has been. But we would like to hear from you to help direct us about what would be the best way to partner with you all.
Devante, there is a comment in the chat from Mary. She's saying that the following: I do not have any questions, but I have been having trouble accessing to the survey on Let's Talk Houston. Not sure if it's my computer or something with the website.
Okay. Yes. Recently, I believe Let's Talk Houston is down for whatever reason. I think the system is down for a moment, but with that, I may extend the survey input maybe for like another week after this meeting to make sure that everyone is able to participate. But yes, I've encountered that issue as well before the meeting today, so I may not be able to showcase the results that we have so far. So we may not be able to do that. But thank you for noting that, Mary, and we will keep you posted on when the site is up and running again. And thank you, Stella, for the name suggestion. Yeah, that I believe we all are having that same issue with the website as a whole. But we will keep you posted on the status. Thank you, Stella, for the suggestion. El Delante near Northside Houston. What does El Delante? Yes, Abraham?
Well, I was gonna see if Stella wants to answer that, but adelante means like move forward.
Yes, that's right. Hi, everyone. Exactly.
I like that. Thank you for the suggestion, Stella.
Sure. I might think of something else, but that just came to me. I felt it was appropriate. Okay, I'm on.
No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if you have any other ideas, please feel free to share. I like that. I like that suggestion. And anyone else have any ideas, feel free to share with us. So yeah, I just wanted to get input from you all about what would be the best way to do it, because we know that there are meetings happening on a monthly basis in the neighborhood, and having this meeting will be another additional meeting add on to it, and seeing like what would be the best way to do it, because the idea is that while these meetings will serve as an update to everyone, if we were to split up into like working groups based on a project that may have to involve meetings outside of these regular meetings. And then with that question, with the follow-up question on that is, would you like for us to meet on a monthly or bi-monthly basis on this Tuesday of the month? Or is there another ideal date that you would like to meet on a monthly basis or a bi-monthly basis? What are some of your ideas on that? By default, I mean, I can schedule, like, for example, if we were to meet on a monthly basis, I would schedule our next meeting on May 25th next month. So that'll be like the week before Memorial Weekend. If that would not be a problem, then I can schedule for that date, but I just wanted to hear any input on that matter. Yes, no, monthly's fine? Okay. Understood. Thank you, Mike, for the suggestion. Monthly, okay. Okay. Then monthly it is. And so, all right, so we'll meet on a monthly basis as a team, and our team name may be Adelante near Northside, Houston, if depending on any other suggestions that we may have. We'll meet on a monthly basis, and then this can be further developed as we move on in this meeting about depending on what project we would like to work on. But thank you for the input so far. But I would like to move on to our next item, which is about improving community outreach and engagement. I know on the agenda I have outreach, but I also want to extend the topic further into the engagement, is how to promote inclusion through these meetings. We know that near Northside has a population, has a particular population of Spanish speakers, and we would like to make sure that this process is also inclusive for that population base. And so far, we have not received that level of attendance from Spanish speakers. So we would like to have this open discussion that I will lead it to Abraham to do, to kind of get some more input on what would be the best way to move forward on this matter. Take it away, Abraham.
Thank you, Devante. Yes, once again, my name is Abraham Zorrilla. I'm also a lead planner for Complete Communities in the area of Second Ward and Magnolia Park, Manchester area. I used to be the lead planner for Gofton and Acres Homes. Gofton and Elleaf Westwood. This is more like the southwest area of Houston. So as Devante stated, Complete Communities goal is to be as inclusive as possible and make sure that other the people from different communities, backgrounds within the Complete Community area are incorporated to the implementation process. There is, if you have checked the action plan for Near Northside, there are several projects, and there are several projects that can be led by the community. So I know we have a number of people here, which means that you are involved in the community and you want to also work in the implementation process. But there's different things that we may need the collaboration of other people. Maybe other people are interested in working in other projects different than yours. So I'm originally from Peru, and I'm offer my assistance to Devante to reach out to those Spanish speakers in the community. So with that, I would like to start with one question, and that question is, who else needs to be invited to these meetings? Who else that represents those community members? And if any chance that I can also introduce Complete Communities to them in Spanish and see if they also want to work on some project within the action plan. So with that, I would like your participation at this moment. Put it in the chat, or you can feel free to speak. And let's start a discussion of the people who needs to be included, or the people that we need to reach out, explain what Complete Community is and how they can be incorporated to the implementation process. So that's actually a question. So if you can, guys, let me know. If you want to participate, please feel free to speak.
May I say something?
By all means.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was gonna type in the chat, but for some reason I couldn't send messages anymore. My name is Mary Helen, and I am a potential new resident to Acres Homes right there in Inwood Forest, looking at buying property. And I know that there are some projects going on there. I know there's the widening of White Oak Bayou, and there's another basin project that's going on in Inwood Forest. And I know they're doing planning to do some work on Antoine right there, Antoine and Victory. And I thought when I signed up for this group that, and this is just me being ignorant and not knowing what this is really about and asking, I thought this was a group that was talking about the upcoming projects. And I'm coming to find out that this is more like trying to get, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but trying to get people in the community involved with these projects. So I'm just curious, what exactly do you mean by that?
Sure. So Complete Communities is basically an initiative created by Mayor Turner, where the purpose is to improve the quality of life of people. So with that, we created action plans for each Complete Communities. Those action plans consist of projects identified by the community and other projects that were identified by other plans in the community. So there are plans, as you stated, that could be that are led by the City of Houston and other organizations. But there are also other projects that can be led by the community. Okay,
Understood.
So what we're trying to do as the planning department and mayor office of Complete Communities is to also have people helping us implementing those projects. Maybe those they want to follow up projects, existing projects, and we can be the liaison or the middle person to actually connect you with those people. Or maybe you guys know of any other organization that can lead other projects. That have happened with Complete Communities, and we have seen that with other in other areas. So you as a resident or a part of organization that provides services in that community can lead in different ways the implementation process. So that's why I'm helping Devante reaching out to the Spanish speakers community in New Northside, as well as any other community that you that exists in the area and you're aware of, and that they need to be here. There's several projects, and again, there's several that can be led by the community, and doesn't have to be one specific group. You know, people, for example, in Elif and Gulfton, there are people. The areas are so diverse that somehow people want to work in different things. So, and I see the same thing in Second Ward and Manolo Park area as well. So that's why the purpose of this meeting is not only to identify some projects that you guys want to work on, but also the people that are missing that should be included in these meetings. And since it's happening monthly, I'm willing to help Devante to reach out to those Spanish speakers community, and maybe have some meetings and see if they want to be incorporated to this process.
Excuse me, Abraham, you have a couple people in the chat.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
Before you take the question, I just want to say, if you're interested in Acres Home, they're having a meeting on May 6th, and you can get a sense of how those meetings are going. If you look in Let's Talk Houston, once it's up and running, click on Acres Home. The meeting information will be there.
Okay. And then I guess to further familiarize myself with the 16 action plans that you have, where would I go for that?
You can to Complete Community. Let me back up. HoustonTX.gov, which is the main city's website,
Right.
/Complete Communities, and you'll be able to navigate to all 10 of the plans.
Now, are there 16 action plans within Near Northside or in total?
There are 10 total in Complete Communities.
Oh, okay.
Near Northside also has a Let's Go Neighborhoods plan that the community is working on.
Okay, thank you.
And I also included the link for the action plan for Acres Homes Complete Communities in the chat.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yes,
Hey, Devante, you guys got a couple things going in the chat. One was a suggestion that follows. I would suggest having more afternoon meetings. Thursdays are a good day to cater to our working families, and more middays meetings to cater to our partners in the community. Saturday meetings have been difficult for many community members who work or have other events in near Northside. And then there was a comment about the type of people who need to be invited to the meeting. From Stella that said, I would like to see more members of our African Americans join meetings like this. We have always had such poor attendance.
And Stella, just following up with your comment, do you have any suggestions of community leaders? Or do you know anyone that we can reach out?
I would like to see a strong partnership develop with the Houston Housing Project that's on Fulton. We have had very poor communication from that group, and of course, I see a potential there for gaining the trust and working that partnership.
Okay, and can you repeat the name of that group? I'm sorry.
I think it's called Fulton Village. It's the housing project on the rail. And also there is another club that has been formed, a civic club called Ryan. I forget if somebody can give me that correct name. And
yeah, it's the Ryan Civic Club. Monique Howard is the president.
There you go. So
if any of you have our contact information, if you could share that with us, that would be great.
Okay. Well, yeah, about the apartments you say on the rail. That's the urban apartments.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
This Miss Blackwell. I said if somebody was mentioning about the apartments that's along the I live, that's the Irvington Village Apartments. If that's what they're mentioning, that's going down Fulton. That's Irvington Village. That is the Houston Housing Authority, but that's Irvington Village Apartments. That's where I live.
thank you. Thank you for correcting that.
Thank you, Ms. Blackwell.
Yes. So if anybody's trying to, communications or something, I live there. If anybody wants to, if anybody's trying to get with me or whatever, I do live there. So yeah, I see a lot of hope and potential there as well. I promise you, I really do. It's a work in progress. I promise you.
Yeah, great. That sounds sounds great. Actually, we'll definitely reach out to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other suggestions?
Yeah, this is Luis Garcia with Metro. One of the things that's been successful for us when you mention, are we reaching out to the non-English speakers? In this case with your Latinos, Hispanics in the Northside, the schools are a great vehicle to get the word out through either PTA, PTO. Obviously with COVID, that's been a challenge, but most of our information gets out to Hispanic families through the school. I think if we can have representation on this group from HISD or charter schools in the neighborhood would be a big plus. So I just want to share that with you.
Thank you. And Devante, you can stop me if I'm wrong, but if you have already that information. But Luis, do you have the list of those, the people that we could reach out with within those schools?
Yes. I'm sorry. I do.
I mean, if you can email Devante with that information, we will really appreciate it.
Absolutely, we'll do that.
Thank you. That's a good suggestion. Thank you.
I think your other one is your churches. That seems to be a big plus as well. Also sit on the Acres Homes, Complete Communities, and in terms of health, and I know that's one of the categories for the near North Side. They've got a great implementation through MD Anderson and other health providers that are just taking off with that Be Well communities at Acres Homes. And maybe that's something that can be duplicated in the north side, because there is a strong need for health needs, that I should say. And you've got great partners that are already doing that, like Casa de Amigos, La Nueva Casa, as well, that can participate. So just sharing some stuff with you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see, we have 15 people. So anybody else? Any other suggestions before we move forward with the meeting? Just had meetings in other languages as well. We partner with other entities. For example, in Elif, we had meetings in Mandarin, Vietnamese, and Spanish. In Gofton, we had like 5, 6 languages in with meetings. So when we partner with other entities, so I want to create that opportunity as well with near Northside, and if there's other communities that speak other languages, we definitely will try to reach out to those communities as well. That was my dog. Anybody else? Devante, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. I see a comment in the chat from Stella. She suggested, her question is, can HISD electric boards be used to share community events in both languages? That's a good idea. That could be explored in asking like a school, who monitors or controls those electric signages outside of the schools to share community information. That could be explored. Can the city sponsor some of these electric boards in specific areas in near Northside? I do not know, but that's also a good question that we can look into. Thank you.
Devante, I can speak a little bit to that. The TransStar team within the Public Works Department is currently in conducting a pilot program and installing the electronic traffic signs that you see on highways and freeways on major thoroughfares right now. And we've actually explored using the boards to share other information outside of, traffic timings and accident information. Because it is a grant-driven pilot program right now, we have restrictions on how we can use the boards that are being installed on the major thoroughfares. But just know that after the pilot is done, and if we have a mechanism to extend the program, that's definitely something that I can keep in mind, and have our team keep in mind for future.
Yes, please. That would be a great opportunity. Thank you for sharing that with us, Valerie.
Oh, sorry about that. Valerie with Houston Public Works.
Thank you.
All right, those are great suggestions. Well, definitely, I guess we can speak more about it. I'm sorry, Ms. Blackwell, we'll definitely reach out to you. And Luis, if you could, send us the contact information for those for the schools, we'll definitely we'll reach out to them and then start conversations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And my name is Abraham again. I'm sure Devante will provide my contact information if you have any other ideas of any other community or groups within New Northside. Thank you.
Thank you, Abraham. And thank you for the great comments during the discussion. Well, Let's Talk Houston is down, so I can't really show the survey for today, but I would still like to show the projects that were part of that survey, and then I will extend it probably for like another week. But the 9 categories that you will see in your Near Northside Complete Communities Action Plan that consist of the goals, the visions, the benchmarks, the projects, and the partners that were identified through the public engagement process from 2017 to 2018. It consists of civic engagement, economy and jobs, education, health, housing, mobility and infrastructure, neighborhood character, parks and community amenities, and safety. And the survey includes projects from most of those categories. And these are projects that were identified as short-term projects, or projects that could be done within the short time frame, and projects that that the community can play a major role in getting that done. And then also on this chart, I've indicated under the 3rd column whether an action item is in progress, and a lot of this was based on the progress report from last month. The ones that are in question mark, those are projects that may or may not be in progress, but this is where we would like for your input on what's already been taking place in your community, so that way we can document that and then carefully choose a project that that has yet to been in progress. So some of these projects I will just read down that are part of that survey are under civic engagement: provide youth leadership training in a youth forum at Northside High School, providing leadership training for the community, engaging with elected officials and candidates, increasing the voter participation in the area, engaging with the North Houston Highway Improvement Project. That is, there has been already engagement surrounding that, for example, but advocating for the citywide super neighborhood council funding, providing SB4 training and information, economy and jobs. There is connecting youth to summer job opportunities, creating a near Northside neighborhood guide, highlighting the destinations and as a nice marketing for the area, for the neighborhood. And in conjunction with that, or it could be complementary to that, developing a shop local and small business promotional campaign. And then for education, there is the providing leadership training skills and resources for parents. Health, increasing opportunities for residents to enroll in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP benefits. Providing workshops for housing, providing workshops for homeowners to ensure their security. And there's more details outlined in your action plan, but just taking those, the title of each project, but that involves homeownership workshops for providing them assistance, whether it's for tax exemption or other factors. Mobility infrastructure, installing bike racks at area businesses and other locations. Expand B-cycle, protecting neighborhood from nuisance and blight. Expanding public art projects. And okay, that was a mistake, but the last column is supposed to be safety. And the 3 projects under the safety column are to increase participation in the Houston Police Department's PIP events or meetings, continue and expand pet spay and neuter programs, and along with that, expanding educational campaigns for healthy pets. So those are 22 of the projects that we could focus on, and then if one was to be selected, we can narrow it down into specific action steps. As some of these projects, as you may see, are kind of still on a broader level, but we can kind of make it more into a tangible project that still relates to that, and then we can still that we can follow. But that's what that was the purpose of the survey, was for people to select their top 3 favorites, or the top 3 projects that they would like to work on out of this, and then we would have had determined it today ideally. But because of Let's Talk Houston being down, and to ensure that we have enough participation, I may open it up for like another week or 2 to get more feedback. But right now I could just open it up for any thoughts that any of you may have on these projects in general. Okay.
Devante, there is a comment from Stella. She's saying that Safe Walk Home needs to connect with a planner in order to start the conversation of safety in New Northside.
Okay. With that, we could start a safety focus. We can have focus group meetings on around safety. We can schedule that, and we can have a discussion at our next team's meeting, and seeing how we can get started with having a safety group meeting, so we can really have a much more in-depth conversation surrounding that topic. But thank you, Stella, for that comment. And then also, it'll be great to have a representative from the Houston Police Department with us at those meetings. So that would be a great opportunity to have good conversations through that. Any other thoughts about these projects? And then, and feel free, like, to, if there's anything that is not on the list, you can provide them in the chat as well. Is there any funding available for these projects? Lynn, can you answer this one?
Sure, thank you. That's a great question. We, in the planning department, as the planners that are working with implementing these projects, we are working very closely with the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities, who is doing continual outreach and grant writing and talking to philanthropic communities and organizations in order to find funding for projects. We unfortunately do not have an expanded city budget, which I would love if that were the case, but we do talk to the departments about creative ways in order to actually get projects completed. And outside of that, we're working with organizations that are helping to make the projects become reality. One example, in some of the complete communities, the Houston Parks Board has identified parks where they are putting in funding to kind of in a, I guess you could say, bring them up to a certain standard, making them better, improving in projects. So I don't know if Director Buggs or Krista Stoneham is on the line, but if they are, I just want to acknowledge them. And if they are and have an opportunity to speak for a second, they can. But these are the things that we're doing in order to bring funding to projects.
Thank you, Lynn. Did I answer your question, Mary? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, she said thank you, Lynn. All right. Well, we are at, okay, we have one more comment.
In order to increase, I'm sorry, Devante, would you want me to read it for you? Okay.
You can go ahead. Thank you.
In order to, there's a comment from Stella. In order to increase attendance at the HPD PIP meetings, I suggest we bring them back to the Lionel Castillo Center or rotate between the present location and near Northside. Also, we need a storefront to return back to our area. Comments also from Stella. Got another one. This is from Mary Lawler. Devontae, do you know how many people have responded to the survey so far?
I was going to check that within the last hour, but I was getting some email notifications about the responses that we have received. We have probably received definitely over 10 responses from the group, but I would have to verify that once Let's Talk Houston is up and running. But this would definitely be extended for another period of time to make sure that we get enough feedback. Thank you for that question, and thank you, Stella, for your comments.
I have one comment to make.
Yes.
At one point, the Irvington Village Apartments, there was a storefront, a police storefront right there on the property. It was right there on the road that was facing Moody Park. And it was there at one point for a couple of years, and then it went away. And I felt like during the time when it was there, whenever the residents need to call for law enforcement, this and that, by them being on the premises, I felt like it made it swifter, try to get some things going versus where we have to call is taking so long for this, like non-emergency, you call the non-emergency number, would take them hours on end, or if they come or whatever. But when somebody was right there on the premises, it was that much easier to hopefully, trying to keep that apartment complex in check. So, I would love to see it come back. That apartment is still that structure is still sitting for them to return if they could. That would be nice.
Understood.
The reason why I'm just saying that is because Irvington Village is dear to my heart, and it's right there, it's like right there, like all eyes are on it, and it's like I would just like to, to see everything just rolling smoothly, and somehow I just like to see Irvington Village off of some people's radar, because it sounds like somehow we're on a lot of people's radar. So if we everything kind of get more in check, we can be off the radar somehow.
Devontae, you have another comment from Carlos. We can start resharing the survey on our Super Neighborhood 51 and near Northside LAT meetings coming up. Would you be interested in coming to the meetings to share this info? And another one from Mary Lawler that says, I can find out if we can put out the survey link via Go Neighborhoods Facebook if we haven't already.
Yes, that would be great. And if there are any other point of contact that we should forward this survey to, feel free to write any suggestions of other leaders that we can reach out to get more word on the survey and to increase participation.
I'm sorry, you had one more comment. It's from Amy Wesley. It says we can text the survey to our parents and other clients.
That'll be great. Yes. Thank you, Amy. That'll be fantastic. And then I could also reach out to so Mr. Garcia, if you could share us the school contacts, that would be great. We can also share with them. Thank you, Annabeth. This is wonderful. Thank you all. You can also share the link. Great. Yes. Carlos, actually, speaking of the Super Neighborhood, I know that the LAT meetings are held on the first Wednesdays of each month. And the Super Neighborhood 51 meeting, that just took place last week, right? So, but I would definitely like to be in attendance at the upcoming LAT meeting, the Leadership Advocacy Team meeting. Thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome to come over. We're also having a mass vaccination event on Saturday at Northside High School. If you have any flyers, I can pass them out. Like I said, we're having about 500 families show up to get a Pfizer vaccine at Northside High School. So, or if you want to send me the flyer, I can print them out so I can have them ready for a Saturday event.
Okay. Yes, I can. Yeah, I can get back to you with what I can provide you before Saturday. I appreciate that, Carlos.
Sure.
Carlos, sorry, one question. Do you need that in English and Spanish?
Both will be great. So maybe
Yes.
the front in Spanish, the back in English, or something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Reach out to Precinct 2 to share with their new senior group. Okay. Great. Thank you for these suggestions. Thank you for these. We will definitely take those, and we appreciate everyone's assistance in getting this out so we can have much more of a participation moving forward. So I will, the survey, so the goal is that to explain the next steps, I will schedule our meeting for Tuesday, May 25th. So it'll be that fourth Tuesday next month. And I will have the survey open for a month until then. So that way the goal will be by the next meeting, we will present those results, and then we can have, then we can confirm a project to work on, and also having more people to join these meetings. Does that sound great with everyone?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Sorry, I didn't mean to let me screen share with this one more before we conclude this meeting. But again, once Let's Talk Houston is up and running, this is the link that we would like people to go on to take the survey. And then also, if you have not done it already, we would like to know which of those 9 topics are you interested in. That way, if we have a specific related topic or opportunity that comes up, like for example, under economy, you know, we would like to make sure that people who are interested in a project under economy and jobs, that we would have them part of that communication group. But the idea is that if we were to split up into working groups, I want to make sure that people that are interested under a specific topic will receive that information. And then these meetings that will be on a regular basis on the 4 Tuesdays of the month, everyone will have the opportunity to be kept up to date on what each working group is working on. So that's the structure that is that is being proposed to everyone. And if that is something that we can move forward with, we can confirm that at our next meeting on the 25th. But I would not keep you on any much longer. But again, thank you all for joining us tonight, and I wish everyone a great evening, and you will receive an email from me with the next steps.